Irish coffee.
It's raining and we can't paint at the moment, so we're in the Irish bar in Seldon-Noir and having an Irish coffee of all things, which is okay apparently. Looks a bit frothy to me, but
it's really nice.
Good. Sod's law that the weather now has turned to this, and there's no way we're going to paint for the moment. I've got some shots, we may go and paint at home. Well, Margaret and I are set up here now after all that rain, and we're going to try and do a water and pastel, which would be rather fun. So Margaret, we're on film now, and this is your first ever working on an easel, which has just disappeared down there.
Sorry.
This is your first ever working with an easel, which would be quite fun.
And I'm a beginner.
We're going to use water and pastel this time, and try and paint this scene, this scene here of Seldon-Noir. Using £140 knot paper, which is not far off hot press, this one. But to mark out first with a light grey pastel with composition, and then straight in with the pastel and water, and then build up on top of the pastel and water. Water fixes the pastel, so we're going to have fixed pastel once it dries to put the pastel over, which is much nicer, on a similar watercolour paper. Let's see how we get to do. And I'm going to take a mid-grey in a light pastel, just like this one.
Yes.
And do what you were just doing, make your composition, see what you're going to get in. For me, I want just to the left of that powder releasing branch coming up to the sky. Not the lightest and not the darkest, but something about this colour should do. What you'll notice is that it will go much darker with the water than the pastel. It will lighten up later. So what I want to do is this entire sky at the moment. I want to cover the coat of the grey. You see how textured this paper is. And that will have a closer on it. So for me, I'm going to get a coat of that right there through. So I know where things are, I've got to here. And where that grey comes into the water down here as well. Wet if we want to. I can get these nice cloud effects happening here. And that is a fixed colour. So it'll go a bit darker down here in places. Just painting the background, we're just putting the reflections in. Lots of verticals and reflections. When you're painting reflections, paint the verticals first, and then paint the horizontals afterwards. That comes down through here. And I'm going to put lighter colours over the top. So we're going to do our medium tones and darks together, and then come back with the lights afterwards. It's darker up there. I'm one of the early ones to first do this. I don't know which I invented it, but I certainly promoted this technique.
I said my mother was very good at pastels. I never saw this technique.
No. I think I'm one of the few people that really started it on YouTube. Yeah, that's right.
It's amazing.
Well, just get yourself into this and
yeah. And the green really is, the green.
Like that, I can bring that grey in there. Add a bit of blue to it in just a moment. And there's some blue sky.
Looking for the water. Oops.
First go ever, it's such speed, so I'm quite pleased with the way we're going with this, learning a technique. Well done. And then we work the light, a lovely bit of sky there, beautiful. But we've got thunder happening now, so we've got to go in a minute, but it's still fun. You're out living without being alive, without doing a real painting, without pretending it's just the real on the card.
Okay, just on YouTube. Oh my word, it's getting better, isn't it?
Well, everything's getting better. It's really coming, you know, your pictures really coming up. We had another hour or so in the proper weather. You're away. It's so annoying. It just started to go.
Oh! Yeah, we've done enough. I mean,
It's enough to just get the idea anyway.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I know that this is fun.
Let's get out of it before we get... Well done, Margaret. I'm going to start with my sky.
Okay.
And
I love chimneys.
water in the middle. Don't try not to knock the water into the top.
Okay.
Yep, that's why I'm saying it. The background here, and then I'm going to make it darker in just a minute. It's right down to there, right up to here. I used yellow. We can go down sizing brushes. We start with our big brushes with nearly all the painting and finish with our smaller ones.
Okay.
So it's one of the problems of painting on plein air is the weather. It's going to go quite, you've got to really work quick today to get the basics done. Yeah, absolutely, but don't make it too thin then. So. Just put the right colours in the right places and the right shapes, and it just appears. Don't panic too much. Yeah, it's making those fast decisions and getting those right colours that's the hard. I'm using these blues into it now, like with the turquoise and things, to try to get these effects of these leaves down here. You can have a thinning medium, a glazing medium, but it doesn't really, you know, water, you can get the effects you want with the water really, you don't really need.
Do oil painting as well? You do oil painting?
Everything, yeah, but I don't use oil paints much these days. I used to use them all the time, but acrylics are so much more versatile and easier. Oil paints are more messy, you've got to get them all out, you've got to mess about with them.
Yeah, I mean they're going to dry, don't they?
Yeah. Now I'm using the yellow ochre and white now to reflect the sky. So I've got the pinks first with the muddy water, and now I'm bringing in these something lighter colours to reflect the sky and the water. Come down to smaller, well you haven't got those there. When you get rid of your whites, come down to smaller brush, but you haven't quite got there yet. Long. Long. Yep. Nearly there. That's right. Get it done and then you can enjoy, because once that white's gone, you can take a smaller brush. Now you've got to paint blocks of colour, just like jigsaw. Paint the blocks of colour in texture as well, so you're making marks about the object at the same time as texture.
So really you can't blend on it. It's like
you can't blend. You can wash over. You can glaze over, and you can put heavier colour and blend it with your finger on top. But once it's dry, you know you're a bit stuffed. You've got to do that. We've got a little bit of sunshine breaking, which is giving us a bit more colour now. So now is your chance to really find those colours. Yeah. Well, the blue is going to make it a bluer brown. Depends what sort of. You know, that's closer to the colour out there, isn't it? Yep, I'm going to fiddle if I start going on now, so that's all your paint now. Brushes are here when you want. Going so well now that you can. And suddenly the sunshine has come out, and what a difference in the whole scene with the sun out. So there we are. you've managed your first acrylic and you're happier than you thought you'd be, aren't you?
Yes, I'm happy with the result.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's obviously pretty terrible.
I was brought here like I brought you. Beautiful spot.
I just wondered how you knew.
So we're here now, we've got the pastel pads with us and the unisons, and we're going to do on Ingres paper, block and blend, Old English.
Are they all the same? They're all the same, aren't they?
Different colours.
Oh, are they?
Depends what's being used.
Oh, yeah. Quite like the bright mustard.
Right, so again, like we did before, we need to mark out
Shall we get that all? Is this a, well, I haven't got that done enough. Is that okay?
It wants to be like that. That's okay, yeah. So at once we're going to start off just sketching out. So we've got so much going on here. You've got to decide how much you're going to actually want.
Okay, I love sky.
I'm going to just use a light colour, just marking it out what you want first of all. So I've got my two towers there, and I've got the river coming around down here. My mid-greys there, and I've got to go slightly darker with those greys. I'm going to start looking at the slightly warmer greys here, and just again bringing those across and just blending them in a little bit. I've already got a grey paper, so I'm partly on the way anyway, aren't I? And of course that's going to be constantly changing with the light, isn't it? So now I'm going to come back to my mid-green here, it's fairly dark just back there, and just hint a little bit with the mid-green, so it's dark back there. This is my mid-tones and darks. I'm going to blend that all the way down, right down to there. I want these darks in, I'm going to put a more medium tone in there now. It's basically giving a ground. You can use watercolour paper and paint acrylic thinly onto the watercolour paper to get a ground like this. You don't have to do the pastel in the same way. And from here then I start to work up the rest of the mid-tone, so we'll start to look at how this water comes in. So about half an hour we should better do a quick study like this. Right, so well done.
Just sit up straight.
And
Have to look up.
yeah, well done. Happy with that now, aren't you? Lovely light in that coming across it. So Margaret's having a go at the pastels and my water lilies that are just coming out. Oh, it's going, isn't it? Very delicate, yes. It's hard to get the strength of colour. And I think I've got all the bottles I need now. I'm quite happy with those there. They make a nice display of like huge water droplets on my lawn. So we're doing the water lilies in the pond today. And there we are.
Beautiful. Take photographs of that.
Put them both together in this composition.
Sorry, that phone. It's ignoring it now.
Very good. Excellent, in fact.
What's that?
So a nice big smile on her face again because she's doing so well. You've got a nice picky again. Yes, excellent. Powers did we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday, Anne-Marie Louise! She's going to use the rollers. She wanted to try a cafe scene, but what we're going to do is show you how it's possible to take a really boring photograph, a not very interesting one, which Margaret is smiling about behind me now because I think it's her daughter's. Is it your daughter's? Granddaughter. On a bus or something or other. On Paris, in Paris, and this figure on the right is really horrible, so we're going to simplify her. We want to bring out the shape, so what we're going to do is take a slightly uninteresting photograph, enhance it on the computer, and then abstract from it, make it into lovely patterns and shapes, push the colours, and just give an impression of the figures. So it's a balance, a lovely balance between the abstract, the contemporary, and the figurative. So, not going to talk more about it, you'll just see how she gets along and finish painting.
Someone come down with you.
Right, now I've done that basic, just giving you the idea of how abstract we can use that sponge roller, and I've done the medium tones and dark tones, and we're going to finish off now. You're going to come on with the roller to get used to it with the light tones, because unlike watercolour, where we're painting leaving the light behind, we've worked from medium to dark, and now we're going to put the lights back in again. Now this is where you're going to be very careful, because we are painting what we call the negative shapes. We're going to paint the light around these forms to sharpen up and bring these forms out, and immediately they will come to light. So I'm going to paint this little area here and just show you some of the other areas, and every little hint of light you see here, then we're going to use a couple of light colours, cream and a very light pink and so on, just to show you how to go about it. And you're going to have to use both the flat of the roller, so here for instance when we're looking at the photograph here, that's a flat, isn't it? We can get the roller in there on its edge and get those sharp edges. Here we're going to just have to use the edge of the roller, and if there's too detailed, forget it. We're going to be going on, once we've got these basics done, we're going to be using the brushes. The flat brushes, we're only using flat brushes today, unless we use any fine details, just to highlight certain areas. We're giving an impression, so we aren't going to paint your daughter's eyes, nose and that unless we just want to give an impression. Because if we get the right shapes and the right colours, we're going to have an impression of those people in that day and that moment, rather than, you know, in all detail. If we started painting this figure in and so on, it wouldn't really work. So let's just finish her off a little bit more. Put that down there. And we can use our finger, we can use all sorts of different shapes, colours. Right, I'm going to make with the, the flat brush a very light cream. I'm going to use, it's got a mucky there, I'm going to use lemon yellow and white for this. There's a lot of water in the palette, so it's not quite the same as the drawing. I've made it a little bit narrower here, but we get this idea of the light against the dark then, and where that light just comes in across her shoulder here, just to get the feeling of it around her head. Let the colour underneath show through. We've got areas here of shade we want to keep. Make sure you put the lines where they are. Don't put them in the wrong place. Yeah, make sure that because you've got a basic design there, and you're drawing now with shapes of colour. Yeah, good. So we're in the studio today because it's been raining outside, and you wanted to do a cafe type scene, so you've taken this from your Paris pictures and we're having a go. But look at the lovely effects you're getting, isn't it fun?
Yeah.
And you don't get that with a brush, you know, it's just only with a roller you can get these effects. These lovely effects of light. And you're turning what was quite a boring picture really into something really interesting as a work of art.
It's just trying to get used to this
roller
absolutely. In my hand.
Yeah.
It's a tiny bit high for me too, I think.
Well, you'll have plenty in the future because now you know how to use it. Now you've seen it used, you can get one over there, or I can send you one by post or something if you can't.
Oh yeah, we can buy these. I think I've got little rollers like this. Yeah. I can do a bit.
Lovely way to put smashing painting now. I mean, you could call it finished even now. This is why if we start loose and finish tight, we can finish when we want. We're in control. So at any time you can say, oh dear, that's what I want. But it's really nice just as it is, you know. It's a nice piece of semi-abstract, and and that figure on the right, we don't need to do her particularly. I mean, she's just picking up on some of these little bits of colour and light. So we just take pure colours, and now it's the right colours in the right places and the right shapes relevant one to another again. So if we're going to do this here, just a little stroke here and there, almost cubist, but in exactly the right places. This is the important thing. Otherwise it's going to look, you see what I mean? It's almost cubist, little strokes like that.
Yeah.
Now if I take this colour here, then again, and her arm, you want to start doing that, so we start looking at pure colours again. And immediately this works, and it's so fun and it's so loose. And if we wanted to do anything with this figure here, don't ever do it, but we just start to hint at some other colours there. Have you just put some orange on her head?
Well, that's her scarf, look.
Yes, but it's not in the right place or the right colour. You have to put the right colours in the right shapes. If you don't, it's not going to work. Can I just come in there a minute? Because you put one wrong, it just looks silly.
But
it's a nice light, but you know, if you want to get this to work, the marks, it's better to have one right mark than 20 wrong ones. You see what I mean now?
Yeah.
Yep. So
that looks better. Yeah.
Yep. Because we needed these little lines here, you see, these little bits here, the yellows, to bring that orange out.
Yeah.
This is more yellow. And unless, I mean, if you start working, if you go further, we could start working on the face, but we've got to be careful. Now, I don't want to start working on this face too much, but what is missing there? At the moment, it's just there's no darks here. So you just want to bring that face out a little bit. I'll just do a wee bit there, and then you can tidy up anything you want after that. Just a little bit of the dark purple and black.
Did you want to see it on the film?
No, it's okay.
Yeah,
Do it
okay.
later.
Yeah.
Just want to try and just find this. Just you want to bring her face out again, so that it just got. You see what I mean? Just trying to bring her face back without putting all the nose and eyes and everything in.
Yeah.
Just want to bring out that.
That looks perfect. The one on the right.
All right, it's almost there, but
it should have been easier, I thought.
No, well, but no, it's so few marks to say so much. Now, I think down here, just to bring, you see what I mean? It doesn't take much, but the most important points, I mean this little point here, that's a vital one. So this little bit of dark just here.
Yeah.
When you look at the picture quickly and look away, what stays in your mind? Quick and you see dark, quick and you see dark.
I can see dark.
That's right, yeah. Those little points are what you want to just mark in.
Not even just.
Make sure they're in the right place and they're not too thick.
There's a couple of bits over
If you want, yes. Okay.
I don't want to make it look tizzy.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, it's almost there now, isn't it? In fact, do you want to leave it at that? Because I think we're there, really. You could put more in. If you do, you're going to make a whole new ball game. If you put any more, you're going to start putting it everywhere.
A little bit dark there, or not leave it. No, because it's not prominent.
I think the eye is led to the focal point of the two figures.
Yeah.
Personally, I would leave that and just sign it. I think that's great. I think it's wonderful.
Can I?
I think I've done a lovely. I think I've done a lovely painting there. You sign right, and I'll sign left.
Okay, because I.
Now we've done one, and I've seen how to do it. Although you've only done a part of this one, in the next one you can totally do. But I had to demonstrate this one for you to see.
Yeah.
But well done. It's a matter again of right shapes, right colours, right places, because you're not going to be drawing with line, you're drawing with blocks of colour that are going to give an impression. So let's start at this face, for instance. We want fairly strong colours, we want to push these colours today, so exaggerate them a little bit, and remember that many of these colours are going to sink a bit anyway. These acrylics tend to do that.
Oh, okay.
So it's not going to be as strong as it might appear at first, but just keep it simple. Let the undercolour glow through a bit, if you've got it there. That was the whole purpose of doing it. See that neck there? We've got to get the drawing approximately right. And that's it. We wouldn't really touch that much more in the whole painting. That's the painting finished. No, we wouldn't really touch that one much more. Right, so now we want to go on to that, because your drawing is a bit out, so we've got to adjust around it. So we're going to not only paint inside, we're going to cut around the outside afterwards as well. Right, when that colour's on the brush, is it anywhere else? Yes, right. You've lost your drawing a bit here and there. Just let that colour glow through underneath. Don't paint everything out. There's no point in doing it otherwise. Doing what we're doing. And hint, look at these marks and make the marks about the thing that you're painting. Don't copy exactly, but use a bit thinner if you want, like that. What I've done is just use it to brush a little more lightly as a dry brush, just to come over that surface. I guess you want me to do as much as I can, just to get you going on this. It's trying to show you how to simplify.
Oh, I am. Yeah. No, I just think it's amazing. A few strokes.
Just keep building it up. Just try and put the right places, say right tones, right colours, right places, and build up. Go to a smaller brush if you want, and go work down in scale, whatever you like. But I don't want to do too much more. I'll be finishing the painting at this rate, you know.
I know. I could do the green at the back.
Don't overdo it. Like I say, just keep it simple.
And
that green at the back, for instance, if we start looking at that, we just want to
just yellow
indicate a bit of texturing, like here.
I don't know if I can do this cut properly.
We're going to try a panorama today, but the clouds are blocked up a bit, which is unfortunate, because I'd like it to have been a little bit brighter across this view, but we'll give it a go. I'm going to be right down here for my grass. So it's gone very dull, and we've got rain, which is not good, but hopefully we'll get sunshine coming out in between. Can't really start painting until this bit of drizzle stops. We'll have a go with the sky. Right, drizzle is just stopping, so I think we'll be able to make a start on this now. And the camera's a bit wet. No, not right. A bit blue into the distance. Turquoise into the distance here to give that, and it makes the grey warmer. Because this is cooler, I don't have to paint warmer in, I can put the cooler on to make the warmer look. Still some rain speckles coming on the canvas. It's a nuisance. I thought the rain had finished, but I'm still getting some speckles on my canvas. Look, if I keep painting over, it's going to ruin my sky because I can lose the freshness if I keep doing this. We need to get the sky done and be able to leave it alone, you see. So I'm hoping I can get this. It changes so fast. You really got to work on. So what you've got to bear in mind is I'm going to be struggling as much as you are in many ways. This is new to me, this is a new landscape, I've got to treat it differently.
It's okay, I'm still doing my measurements.
Yep.
I've kind of
You
worked
hear what
it
I'm
out
saying
now.
though, yeah.
I've sort of finally sunk in, so I do that, and then I do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I do that, and then I divide that up 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's lighter over there. And
okay, I think I'll start painting.
Yeah.
Because I think my scale's nearly okay.
The vlogs go on, so that's what I said, there's two different films of us at the moment.
Oh, okay.
There's the painting and the vlog hasn't gone up because I'm putting that together. So there's all the dinner and that stuff is a totally different thing. I put little bits in between occasionally just to show what's going on. But the actual vlogs, it doesn't matter.
I don't know how to look at the blog.
Vlog, not blog. Blog is a written one, vlog is video log.
Oh, okay.
Finger painting now.
Oh, let me see. I need to watch a bit.
Need to soften.
If I can get some there under there. It's all underneath there, is it?
You look back at me, it's a lovely colour. So the traditional old finish.
I don't know, mix it with some things, do things hanging, and just for a school thing. I'm really sorry, my shirt. I can't do anything. Oh. This is when I'd probably muck it up.
No, you won't. You're doing just fine.